And then he decided in 2000, he got into the website building space before anybody else, was really early. 2001 decided he wanted to start a company from his home, and 13 years later, he's still doing it, and he's got Fortune 500 clients, so he's a great man to talk to, knows a lot. Please welcome Michael Reichgut.
Name wrong. Last name. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Good conference? Excellent. Good to be here with you. My name, as you heard, is Mitchell Reichgut, and I run a company called June Group. The name of the company, JUN, means truth. And for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you the truth about our little industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, how and where an advertisement online gets seen is as important as the content of that advertising. And our clients, the people who fund all this stuff, they have a right to know where their ads run. As an industry, however, I think we do a pretty lousy job of providing that very basic service to them. Let me give you a couple of examples. According to TubeMogul, 50% of online video is never seen by a human being. And I just got a Google alert that updated this to about 59% on Ad Age just today. But some other ones. 36% of all web traffic is fake, according to IAB. ComScore tells us 31% of display ads never seen by an audience. And security firm Solve Media says click fraud costs $11.6 billion this year, up 22% from last year. Utterly unacceptable. I don't like it. I am, however, optimistic that in 2015 things will change. And I'm optimistic for one reason. There's one screen that really gives me a lot of hope. It is the new first screen. All of you guys know what it looks like. It looks like that. Now, I'm hesitant to call this a mobile device. Our company distributes a lot of content over this device, 85% of which is over Wi-Fi. So it's the new laptop, and though some of us are still lugging laptops around, but we never consider them mobile devices. People are using this in their office, in their homes, very much the way that we would any other computer. So it's important, and there's tremendous promise here, but also some challenges. So the first thing you think about when you think about advertising over something like this is the web. But Flurry tells us that the web is only 14% of the usage of a mobile device, if you want to call it that. 86% are apps. Now, apps are a completely different technological platform, a lot more complicated to work with than the web, as many of us in the industry know. So this is a whole different world. And you heard some others today talk about cookies. They're obsolete on this device. Those of us who've been in this industry, that's how you target, that's how you track. All of a sudden, it's not available anymore. So what do? It's really challenging, and I'll get to some answers in a minute. But imagine if you have your own app, what it's like to function in this environment. Getting users is incredibly expensive. Okay? So every new user that you want to sign up, you have to install your app. That costs you $1.89 on Android, $1.89 per user. Even more on iOS. And heaven forbid you'd want to advertise on an iPad. It's almost $4 per user, so extremely expensive. And guess what? When all of us are on this device, we are very sensitive to advertising. We don't like it. We don't want to be interrupted. This doesn't cut it anymore. All the work, all the time, and all the money that a publisher, an app publisher, puts into aggregating an audience can go away very quickly. Those users will disappear if the advertising isn't right. So let's look at this the way that our brands look at it. And we're about to publish a study that looked at about 300 national ad campaigns in which we were asked to participate. 270% increase in requests for multi-screen advertising. What that means is brands are screen agnostic. They don't care where it runs. It used to be that they would say, well, put 10% on mobile. Let me try that. Put 60% on laptop, desktop. Let's see which performs better. Now they just want it to perform better. So clients' brands are screen agnostic according to this new research that we did. Not coincidentally, June Group is screen agnostic. We distribute content on behalf of large brands on all of these screens. Now, interestingly, last year, 70% of the online video we did for Fortune 500 brands came over these devices, not these devices. Why? Well, they perform twice as well. Users watching video on quote-unquote mobile devices are twice as likely to take an action after watching the video, twice as likely. Now, it may seem counterintuitive. The screen is smaller, I don't know, but we all look at this device 150 times a day, and the advertising takes up the full screen, And the buttons are bigger, a bigger percentage, and so you get better performance flat out. And that's what the numbers look like, 5% engagement versus 2.4. So how do you function in a cookieless world? Well, we use user-declared first-party data. That's fancy industry speak, I suppose. We're integrated into mobile apps, and we see all the registration data. So we can tell age and gender and geography and other things because people have let us know. And again, that performs twice as well as standard ad targeting. But how does it work? How do you function? What does the thing look like? Everyone here, I'm sure, we're about to hear a native panel right after this, is familiar with native advertising by now. Most of it is editorial. It's a display ad that's nested in the editorial content of a page. And it's much, much better than display advertising. But guess what? That 86%, those apps, they're not editorial sites. So here you have this big burgeoning community, and you have millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people, actually. And how do you reach them? Well, here's a popular app that we run in. And if you go into this app, users who are looking for clues or hints can opt in to see a brand of their own volition. So each publisher integrates the native ad experience into their own system in a way that is not going to make their users flee like I indicated in the earlier slide. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this actual campaign in just a few minutes, but if you touch on it, it plays beautiful HD quality video full screen, or it takes you right to the site. But before I get too much into that, I just want to touch quickly on social media because it's changing dramatically. According to some research that I just saw from Ogilvy, brand pages with 500,000 likes or more are in precipitous decline. Now, Facebook changed its algorithm. Everybody knows that. And that would account for this. But we've been doing our own research, and we see brands doing the same thing. This shows you a 33% drop in asks for like me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook, tweet this. We used to get that all the time. It was the number one request from our brands. It's down 33%. And at the same time, a 25% increase in drive users to my owned and operated site. Now, if you put these two together, in 2014, for the first time, and we've been doing this for a number of years, driving to a client's site and drive to social media actions are just about equal. And if the trend continues as we expect it to, client sites are going to be the number one ask in 2015. So I told you about this case study. We're going to get into it really quickly. Paul Allen, founder of Microsoft, decided that Americans needed to know more about the economy. So he hired our client, Cinelan, and producers like Morgan Spurlock to create 23-minute-long videos about the economy. And we've been distributing them. Let me just show you a few seconds of one of them. It's really cool.
So, I promised some people with money that if they gave me some of their money, I would make them a movie about money.
Imagine a typical family, a mother, a father, 2 kids, a dog. They have a small farm.
Fresh squeezed lemonade.
Yeah, would you like to buy some?
I'm already selling fresh squeezed lemonade right across the street.
Gather in, my fellow bipeds and Neanderthals. This is the product that you need.
Okay, so I'm running out of time, but you get the picture. It's wonderful, wonderful content, really important, and incredibly hard to distribute 3-minute-long videos about the economy. It doesn't matter how wonderful they are. We did it. We are doing it, in fact, right now as I speak, the same way that I just told you, in mobile apps. So our client knows exactly where their users are coming from. They know the age and the gender and the geography of each one, and every experience that they're generating is happening right on the client site from these apps. It's tremendously successful. We're on pace by the end of the month to have 3 million video views. We've given them millions of ad impressions for free, and 5% of the people that have had an interaction with it are going on to take an additional action. So, only got a couple minutes left. I'm going to blow through this really quick. If you're doing branded content, fish where the fish are. Mobile apps, the biggest, the best community on the internet right now, and is the best way to have a transparent, tangible interaction with really distinct and refined user groups. Play with passion. A lot of our brands think, I have to fire a kitten out of a cannon if I want anybody to see my video. It's not true. Even if we do a lot of work with pharmaceutical brands, with brands that are not quote-unquote fun, but if they're passionate about the work and it's not just some television ad that's slapped onto the internet, we can find the right users and they get a lot of value out of it. Always know where you're running. Agencies, brands, as I say, have a right, and they need to ask and they need to demand, where are you buying your traffic from? Because a lot of people in my business buy and sell it. The source is very important, and it means an awful lot to the results. And finally, begin at the end. That content I just showed you, It was a cooperative effort by the people making the video, the people paying for it, and the platform. When the people that are creating it know exactly where it's going to live and when it's created for a specific reason, you have a much, much better result. So that is all I got for you guys. You want to learn more about June Group? I'm Mitchell, M-I-T-C-H-E-L-L, not Michael, at junegroup.com. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Really appreciate it.